Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. The day after I aborted my first attempt at maternal incubation, I got another clutch the morning after. This one is much better. She's much more tightly coiled around the eggs, and this looks like a good candidate for maternal incubation. Very disappointing, that first clutch guys, but we live and learn, and as with everything when I do these experiments, we learn a little bit each time we see something new. And yes, there has been some lessons from that. Let's take a look. So guys, the day after aborting the Savannah girl's maternal incubation, I woke up this morning and we have another clutch. This is my Camo Sable or Super Sable Pinstripe girl to an Orange Dream Yellow Belly. I want to see what Sable looks like with Orange Dream. And this is a nice candidate for maternal incubation because there are no rollout eggs and she's laid in a nice clump that she's coiled very nicely around. The camera is set up. I've got the camera, you can see the electrical cable down to the plug there. So the camera is installed inside the tub. There is a damp towel inside the tub, and you can see that I've also put a damp towel over the bulk of the ventilation holes on top of the tub. This is the uppermost tub, so it's going to be the warmest in the room, and I've already made arrangements to increase the humidity in the tub for her. And again, I've got the same arrangement with the UVB light warming up the room by a degree or so. So don't despair, we haven't given up on maternal incubation. I did abort the last one for the reasons that I stipulated in the video, but we have another candidate within a day of aborting that one. I've got a second clutch that we're going to see if we can maternally incubate. So this big female here in one of my bigger tubs, as you can see, is curled up at the back, and she's due to lay in early October, and you can see that she has pushed aside the paper in an attempt to make a nest. So what I'm going to do is to give her this upturned laundry basket. I've cut the sides down a little bit, and I'll stick that in the back of her tub and see whether she actually wants to bed down inside this artificial nest. So let's try that on this big girl and see what happens. Now let's just have a peek at this female that I put the upside down tub in and see whether she is actually using it. And no, she is not. She has wedged herself into the space at the back of the tub and appears to be ignoring this upside down tub, which I thought would be ideal, but she obviously does not. Alright guys, so I have a second female that is due to lay on the 4th of October, and I'm just getting a replacement maternity tub for her here. It has my standard setup, but I've added some coarse cocoa husk. And I'm just damping it down because she does have a little way to go. I just want that to be a little bit more humid for her. And we'll stick her in this tub. This is against my better judgment. Typically, substrate in the tropics gets soggy and starts to mould very quickly if it gets too humid, so I need to watch that. Obviously the humidity needs to be high for her to lay her eggs, but I don't want the substrate to be soggy. That encourages mould. Also, here in the tropics, substrate makes the tubs susceptible to creepy crawlies. Anything can come in and start breeding like crazy in this substrate, and it's not just mites, but we get all sorts of other insects and creepy crawlies here in the tropics, and I need to watch out for that as well in this tub. So we'll give this a try, primarily to see whether she actually makes a nest. In the tub that she's in right now, typically all my females do this. She is under the newspaper. You can see her sitting there under the newspaper. So what I'm going to do is to use this newspaper that's in this tub and put it over the top of both her and the substrate in the new tub. So let's just do that. So I've swapped over the label. I'll put the water bowl into here for her. Let's just top that up a little bit with extra water. And what I'm going to do is to take the paper from here, plus the snake of course. Now I'm going to lift the snake out with two hands. I don't want to use one hand, and I'm filming on my hand phone, so I'm going to put the hand phone down and transfer the snake very gently into this new tub. Okay, so there she is in the new tub on top of the substrate, and you can see the telltale signs that she is gravid. She's had a prelay shed a few weeks ago, but you can see the spinal ridge showing on her body. The scale separation here, and her body is very, very round, so clearly she is carrying eggs. And what I'm going to do for her is I'm going to give her back the newspaper that she was underneath. Okay, so I'm going to stick this back in the rack now. We do have several days to go before she's due to lay, so I just want to see how she responds to this substrate and whether she likes it or not. We can always switch her back. I don't like doing this with gravid females, messing them around and changing my system, because I know it works. So this is something new, but I do want to see if I can reduce the number of roll-out eggs from girls laying on a flat tub. It's never been an issue before, because I collect the eggs soon after they're laid, so they all go straight into the incubator anyway. But does it actually make it easier for the female to lay a nice clump of eggs if I actually give her some substrate to bed down into? So we'll use this as another experiment. to see what the snakes actually prefer. So this one is on cocoa husk substrate, and I've given her a newspaper to go over the top because that's where she was in the old tub. And we'll see how we go. And the vanilla clown has immediately bedded down and made a nest into that substrate. She's tipped it everywhere, including in the water bowl. We leave her to it. This female, on the other hand, is now underneath the container that I've given her as a nest, so I don't think that that's going to work. So there you go, guys, much more active than even I anticipated the female was going to be. She moves almost constantly on the eggs. They've been incubating now for about 3 days and it has been a little bit cool. She's currently sitting at about 85 to 86 Fahrenheit, which is a bit cooler than I would use in the incubator. I normally incubate at 88.5 or 89. So she's probably struggling to keep the eggs warm. It has been cool outside and cool here in the snake room, but the sun's out at the moment and it's warming the outside walls, so we should see a slight rise in temperature, which should make her job a little bit easier. We'll follow this through, guys, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.